Have you learned some practical lessons about leadership and about managing personalities and egos and the kinds of things that the leaders of all organizations have to consider?
Yeah, I learn every day, and I've been through, plenty of highs and lows over the years. I was music director in Nuremberg for nearly a decade of the symphony orchestra there, and we had many highs, but we had lows as well, and some very very sort of difficult days. And the nature of conducting is such that you're all working together in real time every day for 6 7 hours, and uh, frictions can come to the fore in a way that in an office it's very different, where people are physically separated, especially nowadays. People are on Zoom, and if you find somebody annoying, you can just close your computer and have a cup of coffee and try and sort of
Yeah, there's a lot less autonomy in an orchestra. You don't go off and play your part by yourself and then
no,
come
no, and
together for the occasional meeting like you do in an office, right? You're,
that's
you're
right. And
working together every day.
exactly, and so you know, there will be many orchestras where the first clarinet player who sits next to the second clarinet player, they've been sitting together for 30 years. You come to work and that person is sitting right there. And you have the two oboists who are sitting two flutists who are sitting right in front of you. They may have been there for 25 years as well. So those four people have spent 2.5 decades, 3 decades sitting in those spaces every day for 6 hours a day and in concert. So all the good things about the people around you become wonderful, and you know them backwards. But any little thing, like imagine every time you play the clarinet, you went, like that, just whatever, let's say you just did that with your after a while, the person next to you is going to find that annoying, So this kind of, the friction of being together every day can be enormous. But of course, the reward of being in a collective that demands everything of you and can only really excel if you're giving your best is great too. But as a conductor, you need to be aware of that. You can't only worry about that. You can't only worry about how people are feeling all day. But in order to get the best out of an orchestra, like the best of any team, you need people to be freed up psychologically to be giving their best and to be sort of empowered. So it is part of what you do. But it's an extraordinary. I've used the analogy before. If you were to imagine getting a hockey team on the ice, and how many players are there on a hockey team?
On the ice at one time or in
Yeah,
total? On the ice at one time, there'd be 6, including
okay.
the goalie. Yeah.
So let's put the other team on as well. So let's say it's 12, and then you put out 12 pucks, and you say, right now, just okay, and then you double the size of the team, then you double the size of the team again, and then you add another 2 teams, and you add all of those pucks. That's sort of what's happening in music, in a symphony orchestra, because when we're all playing at the same time, everybody has a puck, and the responsibility for making sure that the pass goes to the next person. They need to be accurate, they need to be in tune, they need to also be aware of where the other person is. But they're like that, they're just firing across the orchestra. You can't see them, but they're there. And when it's going well, it's in complete symbiosis. The pucks are flying around, and everybody's kind of in a mind meld. And I'm there for 2 things. One is to facilitate that, and to guide us and to get us into the right headspace for it to happen. But if a puck errantly flies off somewhere, to just help reconnect it with the 2 players who had it. So it's difficult to underestimate the intensity of interaction that's occurring in a symphony orchestra.